Welcome, Divine Light Accelerators. Welcome to Season 3 of Own Your Divine Light Show. I'm Janet Miller, and I am the Divine Light Activator, and I am so happy to have you here during this pivotal time in humanity's expansion. This is a momentous time, something none of us have experienced before, and I feel it's so important to share this information. We are in the shift of ages. We are learning about ourselves, and it is a gift. And if you are healthy, it is a gift. And if you are recovering or have lost anyone, I sent my heartfelt blessings to you. What will be the new normal we are stepping into? We will hear from our amazing guest today, Christine Day, and welcome, Christine. What Christine has to say about what's going on in the world. And Christine is internationally renowned as a Pleiadian ambassador, a gifted spiritual teacher, healer, and channel. Christine has been in this work since 1994. She has shares her amazing work on this earth plane. She has written 3 books: Pleiadian Initiations of Light, Pleiadian Principles of Living, and the Pleiadian Promise. And Christine works directly with her Universal Galactic community through the recently constructed Galactic Receiving Station on her land in Marais, Minnesota. Is that how you say it? Marais?
Grand Marais.
Grand Marais, that's it, Grand Marais, Minnesota. Christine presents her 3-day Pleiadian seminars in different parts of the world, and we hope that gets going again. That would be exciting. And she has a twice-monthly internet radio show on Blog Talk Radio, Christine Day Online, and it's free also on her website. And she also writes a monthly column, The Pleiadian Message. So I cannot believe how much you do, Christine. Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. You are a wonderfully busy lady.
Well, it's wonderful to be here, Janet, and it's just great. I just want to say hello to everyone out there and send my blessings and love at this very intense but glorious time on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to be here.
Thank you. And I think today we're going to do a little grounding before we start with Christine, because I feel like because Christine is an amazing energetic, she actually has her full Pleiadian essence, right? Your whole galactic heritage. She's embodied it all already. So we are, this is an amazing opportunity that you're all here to listen to Christine. So let's just do a little grounding. So I'd just like you all to close your eyes for a minute. Feel your feet in the ground. Take a nice deep breath and blow it out. Take a second deep breath right into your belly and blow it out. And take one more deep breath and blow it out. And I want you to visualize going down your leg, crystalline roots of light, and see those roots of light going down your legs and out your feet and going down into the earth through the layers of the earth and going down towards that giant golden crystal that I visualize as the center of the earth and Mother Gaia's heart. When you connect to that crystal, connect with it and become one with it. And now Mother Gaia is going to send up her crystalline golden light. It's going to come shining, shimmering up that galactic roots of light that you have down there connected with her, and see them coming up through the layers of the earth, coming up through your feet, coming into your legs, coming up into your belly, into your arms and your chest, and going up through your neck and up into your head. And then I'm going to have it go right out to the roof of your house, wherever you're sitting, and see it go right up off planet, all the way up off, and see it go way out into the universe. Now we're in that inky purple universe, and there's all these beautiful stars twinkling at us. There is one star twinkling at you, which is your monad, your soul family. Connect with that star and become one with it. And these are all your beings of light who are here for you, that are here connecting with you. And you could have many stars, but this particular one is connecting with you now. And these are your beings of light. They could be family, relatives, galactic brethren, White Brotherhood, Ascended Masters, anybody. You may not know them all. And these beings are here for you on this journey, and it's a free will planet. So please make sure when you ask for help from them, say it out loud, say it specifically, so they're clear of what help they can bring to you. And now I want you to connect with the central sun. And the central sun is the nourisher of our galaxy and our planet, helping us shift this crystalline energy, bringing us into our full embodied crystalline light that we are meant to bring in this lifetime. And see this central sun sending it down to the earth, this shimmering light, which I call the cosmic flush. And this light is coming down like a crystalline waterfall of light. It's coming back to the planet, back through the roof of your house, and back into the crown of your head, like a gentle, loving energy, just like a beautiful crystalline waterfall, just flowing down your body. And let anything that's stuck or in the way, just let it flow into this beautiful energy. See that energy flowing down your legs and down and out your feet and going back towards the center of the earth. And see that going into this giant fiery ring surrounding Mother Gaia. And she will burn it up and transmute it into light. And just connect with your heart. Put your hands over your heart, right over left. And see that golden flame in your heart. That golden flame is you, your self-love light, your God love light, your God loving you and you loving you. And this energy is starting to radiate forward into your chest. This glowing, beautiful golden light is filling all your cells and filling you with your own love light and God love light. And because we are all one, this light is the energy of love, the universal love, unconditional love. And it's flowing around us and creating this beautiful sacred space for our conversation today. And I am just asking, the intention for this conversation is to bring what is most important for everyone to hear today into this conversation. And we're going to stay connected to all these beings right now. And thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it's done. All right, I got a little long, but thank you for letting me do it. So Christine, this is wonderful. You've been on this mission for such a while. And how did you feel when you first learned about what you were meant to be doing in the world? Because this wasn't something you were aware of.
It wasn't something I planned or knew about, that's for sure. And it came as a huge shock, because really my first encounter with the Pleiadians or any sort of alien encounter was out of the blue. I was walking in nature and turned a corner, and there's this huge Pleiadian ship, and the Pleiadians were walking towards me. And I would have run, because in those days I really didn't believe in aliens or spaceships. And they grabbed me telepathically and reminded me of my mission, of my work that I had pre-agreed to do in this lifetime. It was my Pleiadian family that was around me, and they reminded me of my Pleiadian heritage. And it was just like a profound transformation. It was like this incredible love, because the Pleiadians hold an unconditional loving evolution. That's part of their culture is highly evolved. And so I don't even remember getting home that day. I found myself in bed just with this light pouring into me. And it was my Pleiadian aspect coming into my body. And it took 2 months. I was in bed for 2 months while I fully embodied my Pleiadian aspect. And I went through a very difficult time in those 2 months, because I really didn't want to be a Pleiadian, and I really didn't want to have this mission. Before this had happened, I was just aware of this light of God that was with me, and that's what I thought it was. My awakening a few years back before that. And so I just wanted to be with God. I didn't want to be a Pleiadian. I didn't want to be a Pleiadian ambassador. And, a few weeks later, 2 angels came to me, and they said, the Pleiadians are part of the God consciousness state. You are part of the oneness. And you are part of this resident universe, the God consciousness state. There is no separation. And it was like, I was able to digest that as a truth, to accept my mission. It was just a few weeks later that I was able to get out of bed, totally transformed. And I was kind of launched into the world in a very different way, and started to work right through the world, different countries of the world. That was 26 years ago. So it's been a profound time. And the Pleiadians are here. I'm the bridge. I have been a bridge, and I continue to be that bridge between humanity and the Pleiadians. It's like educating humanity about the Pleiadians and what they have to bring in their message, which is so important at this time for us in this transition. to share what the Pleiadians are doing energetically on the planet. But I think the most important thing, Janet, is bringing the Pleiadians bring a clarity and understanding to our unique makeup, not just our humanity, but our sacred nature, and removes the mystery how we move into our enlightenment. And I think that's a really key piece for all of us out there right now to understand that it's a natural returning, reconnection that we need to take within ourselves. And there's a lot of mysteries, or there were a lot of mysteries, a lot of illusion and stories put out there to make it almost impossible for people to feel that enlightenment was possible at this time. And it is. So that's part of a very strong message, as well as the light initiations that the Pleiadians, and well, I carry fully, being Pleiadian, but I still have my human part, my human aspect that I came in with. So I work, of course, with that. To stay in this body, I need my humanity. And so it's just been an incredible journey, and one I'm very grateful for.
Wow, that's incredible. And see how much you can remember every detail. And it's been 26 years. Like, it's something you could never forget, could you? I mean, it's just...
Oh, it's really imprinted through me. Yeah. And even as I speak of it, it still touches my heart. It's a very emotional, transformational time, because that love that my Pleiadian family, they're still around me. They never leave me these days. You know, they have held me in that love, and I've learned to transform my own heart through that love. And so, you know, part of my work is transmitting that purity, that love out to people as I work with people through video right here now. Right. And, you know, it's just been a very glorious journey.
Yeah, it's so interesting. The first group I was actually kind of introduced to were the Pleiadians, because I went to healing school, and it was Barbara Marciniak that wrote her book Bringers of the Dawn way back in, well, it was early 2000, and you were even before that. I don't even know when she actually started, but I knew about her and the Pleiadian connection, and I was like, oh, interesting. But I knew I wasn't necessarily full Pleiadian or anything. I was more connecting to the Sirians, but you...
Pleiadians are known to teach everybody. They are the teachers of the earth plane. They bring the teachings, and they reconnect people to their Sirian, to their Arcturian roots, to whichever roots or family of origin people are from. The Pleiadians' role is to reconnect individuals to their realignments to their family of origin. So I work through the entire galactic community with all the life force groups within our resident universe. And Pleiadian recipes, and what I call recipes, they have these amazing, unique light initiations that are given to individuals, and they move through those almost like those rituals to return them back and reconnect them into their remembering of who they are, and to embody their higher frequency consciousness of their sacred natures. So, you know, that's a big part of the work.
Yeah, and I know that you have this amazing station that you developed where you live now. I mean, you were guided, and that's an amazing story in itself, that you were guided to go there, right?
Yes, we were. I was writing my third book, and I had decided I needed quiet, so I went into this little cabin in the snow up in the mountains behind Grand Marais, Minnesota, in the wilderness area. And coming down from there, down the mountain, the Pleiadian said, now, I want to show you a new home. And I was like, we were living in Minneapolis, 5 hours away. And they said, turn here, turn here, turn here. And there was a for sale sign, and we went down this long driveway, and they said, this is your new home. And it was right on Lake Superior. We have our own beach. And it took 7 years, but we were shown step by step how to build an energetic galactic receiving station. And we've been bringing groups here for the last 2 years. It took 7 years to develop all the layers of the components of the galactic receiving station. So yes, we're here right now, and this is where I am right now at our land. And it's a profound experience. It's really introduced me to the whole community, universal community. And we have the coming in here, and just really, I've made some incredible connections with communion within the entire galactic community.
Wow.
And I'm now part of the Galactic Council here. So, you know, my whole world has transformed.
Yeah.
Very different to any way I might have imagined it. But, you know, the ego mind has one idea of what we're going to do, and then there's our destiny. And it's about moving with that destiny and moving into a grand adventure. And
Yep.
that's where I find myself, in the middle of a grand adventure
Yes.
here. So, you know, I'm very grateful.
Yeah, I agree. I think this whole life we're living is a grand adventure. And, you know, so how do you view our journeys? What's going on? What's going on in our world right now? How do you view that? And
Okay,
what is
so
your
the
take?
aliens had told me something huge was going to take place. This was in January this year,
Mhm.
but a big change was coming that would affect the entire global community
Mm.
all at once. It was going to happen in a collective way, and it was part of a destined time for humanity to make some very big shifts.
Mhm.
So we have the coronavirus here, and at the same time, though, we have simultaneous to the coronavirus is this incredible new frequency, this network of light, of God light, that is anchoring onto our earth plane. So there's a huge shift in the dimensional setting of the earth itself within the magnetic core of the earth. It's
Mhm.
like there's a new pulse in the center core of our earth that is pulsing at the same rate as the rest of our resident universe for the very first time.
Uh, that's amazing.
That is a mind blower,
Yeah, it
because
is.
earth is suddenly resonating with the rest of our universe. Now, this is the beginning of a shift in the timelines that exist. Now, there's no time is the biggest illusion here on the planet. But when I talk about timelines, this is like the multi-dimensional timelines that exist throughout our resident universe. And Earth was not in that resonance at all. They
Right.
weren't part of those timelines. But
Mhm.
now planet Earth is part of those timelines. Now, what does this mean in real terms?
Mhm. Right.
It means there are many veils lifting, the
Mhm.
veils of illusion. It means this network of God light that's anchoring on the planet right now, which is expanding daily, by the way.
Mhm.
It's
Oh yeah.
growing daily, is shifting our consciousness within our brain cells.
Mhm.
It's like the brain synapses in the nervous system are changing, and there's a higher electrical component running through our brains. Now, people are feeling, they're feeling this dizziness, this
Mm.
tiredness.
Oh yeah.
Part of that is a transmutation process that's happening within us. We are transforming, and transmutation is happening within the cells. This pulse from the magnetic core of the earth is actually pulsing through our cells and
Mhm.
awakening a transmitter that's been lying dormant in our cells for lifetimes. We
Incredible.
have a transmitter that's starting to also pulse within us,
Mm.
in every cell of our body, in the
I love it.
same resonance as the magnetic core of the earth. It's like a heartbeat. The
Mm.
Pleiadians liken it to a heartbeat. And to the rest of our resident universe, we're starting to align to a telepathic communion, which is
Ooh.
the natural part of
Yes.
what we can do. It's part of our natural, sacred tools, our
Mm.
multidimensional tools, but we're starting to awaken.
Mm.
And those of us on the path who have always been the way showers, we're always meant to be the way showers ultimately. Our telepathic communion centers are opening up into a new, what's the word, potential.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that groups of us that are awake, that are on the path,
Mhm.
can start to work through a telepathic communion between us.
Mm.
Now, the Pleiadians are talking about where two or more people gather as a group.
Mhm.
we can begin to align through our telepathic communion within the group setting, which is that unique divine aspect that exists in each one of our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
We all have a unique divine aspect of the God light. And as we move into a communion, just through a conscious choice action of opening up to another, through that communion, there is a birthing of those unique frequencies of our heart, the heart energy of our God light, which adds to the network of light that's already anchoring on the planet. So that we're birthing a base.
It's amazing.
We are forging a deeper base of this God light through Earth, between us. And this is part of the work that we're being asked to do as a collective right now to support the entire consciousness of humanity. You know? And so the Pleiadians are saying, there are those of us that are consciously awake, and there are those of us who are still in a third dimensional setting, not conscious at all. But they say at a certain moment, others will awaken from a dream. You know, when you're having a dream and then you wake up and you're going, oh, I was only dreaming. Well, they will just awaken from the dream here and suddenly remember their sacredness.
Wow.
See, our sacredness is intact just beyond the veil.
Wow.
And there is nothing stopping any one of us from reaching in and connecting to that sacred part of ourselves right now. We have two components of our makeup, our humanity and our sacred nature. Now, the lie has been that in order to become enlightened, we have to become perfect. So we strive to do it right, strive to push down the shadow side. But the Pleiadians say, in order to be enlightened, we have to accept our imperfection. We are perfectly imperfect in our humanity. That's not going to change. It's never going to change. We cannot manage to be perfectly perfect as a human being.
I don't think so.
It's not meant to, though.
I know, and it's good to know that.
Celebrate our idiosyncrasies and our imperfection, and come to accept those imperfect parts of ourselves with love and compassion and patience. But there's absolutely nothing you need to do, Janet, or I need to do to change in order to move towards our enlightenment process, towards the sacred that is really fully intact just beyond the veil. There's nothing to learn. There's just reconnection and reunion.
Wow.
That's all there is.
So why do we have so much trouble doing all that?
As the ego mind is used to controlling and making the decisions of our life.
Yeah.
Ego mind's real role is to help us organize our lives, making shopping lists, adding up figures, packing, organizing, doing things on a third dimensional level, but not running our lives.
Okay.
And that's our ego mind here, our head, our brain. That's the ego mind. Our hearts, this is our multi-dimensional tool. This is where the very central part of us arises within the universe. This is where everything arises from. And it's through this part that we link to our communion, our telepathic communion abilities. And it's where we reconnect to the multidimensional aspect of our sacred nature, our higher self.
Yes, I can feel that myself now. I really have finally come to understand that myself. But it's the most beautiful thing when you can get to that point to connect.
And it's a simple thing. And now this is another kind of illusion, the story that makes it really, really hard. So the first thing you'll do is, okay, I'm going to be here all the time. I'm just going to be in my heart. I'm not going to, that's it. No, that's not going to happen because we're perfectly imperfect in our humanity. What can happen is for every moment that you connect into your heart space, every moment you touch your heart and bring your awareness there, and just claim, reach for your sacred, your multidimensional sacred that you are. Every cell in your heart transforms.
That's amazing.
Just one moment. And every moment you do that, it's accumulative. So you start to build your pathway home. It's about you birthing you. No one can do it for you.
Oh, yeah.
We are the only ones that can reach back to reconnect. It's all reconnection, a natural reconnection to our higher self. And at the moment, the doorway is wide open for all of us to return to that space.
And how long is that open? Is it open for a long time, or is it just a
It's open. It
It's
stays
just
open.
have we made it open because we're ready? Is it because our consciousness isn't
Because destiny, it's destiny for our planet, for us to reconnect. The Pleiadians say we'll successfully reconnect with our sacred nature in this lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
It'll all embody right here in this physical body. And at the same time, yeah, because it's a truth. And at the same time, we will shift our relationship with our humanity. Because what I've noticed, as I've evolved and come into my enlightenment energy, my human part starts to feel the love and compassion from my sacredness. It's at peace and much more restful.
Yes.
And I have come into a state of self-acceptance of my humanity, of my idiosyncrasies. I have love and compassion and patience for my humanity. I still have my moments of being human. And I take a breath and let go, and I hold myself with that love and compassion. And as you take moments of doing that, of realizing everything you've ever done in this life, there's been no wrong decisions, no wrong choices. They've just brought us to a series of learning experiences. So the guilt, the shame, the feeling of not being good enough actually starts to dissolve, because the truth is everyone has been a player on the stage. We have not been victims. We've been creators of our design, creators of our experience. You know, there's no victim here, because we have found someone who will create betrayal for us if that's what we've needed. But we're not a victim of betrayal.
Gotcha.
We claim and take ownership. We don't owe anyone else anything. Everybody is responsible for themselves. So in the vein of that truth, of that being true, that everyone's done the very best they could in each moment of time. Everybody.
Yeah.
There's no forgiveness, because there's no need to forgive. If you think you have to forgive someone, then it means you are saying, I'm a victim.
Ah, I see.
I'm not a victim.
Interesting.
My parents gave me away to a cult. Do I have to forgive them? No. I pre-agreed before I came into this lifetime to have that experience and to choose them as my parents.
Oh, yeah.
And they played that role perfectly. So there's self-reconciliation for sure. You've got to get, you know, that, like I had a lot of deep pain, a lot of deep hopelessness. You know, I had to work with that little girl inside and bring her back into the light and hold her and give her the love she didn't have. That was my self-introspection, my self, you know, resolution, my self-resurrection from the cross that I placed myself on.
Oh,
I had to take myself off that cross.
Wow.
Sure. But was I a victim? No. I don't. I claim ownership of that creation, never wanting to go through it again.
Right.
But it has brought me to everything that I am, allowing me to work with individuals with their own issues around their inner children, giving me incredible gifts and understanding of suffering.
Yeah.
You know? So we need to look at our lives and our creation and
Mm-hmm.
take ownership
Yes.
of that creation as part of our self-resurrection process. As Jesus Christ came to me one day, and I really needed this, he
Mm-hmm.
said, when are you going to take yourself off the cross? You put yourself up there. You came here to resurrect yourself in this lifetime. And
Wow.
no one can take you down except yourself.
How interesting. Oh my goodness. When you
That
look at it that way, that's
it
amazing.
changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
It allowed me to understand I was still holding a lot of things inside from my cult experience. That was many years ago.
Mm.
And he stayed by me and he taught me about love. And he taught me about my humanity and the
Mm.
beauty of my humanness. You know,
Wow.
Jesus Christ is also Pleiadian, and so is Mother Mary. They were both Pleiadian. They're both here now on the earth plane to help us individually, to help us in our self-resurrection process,
Mm.
help us in the self-love. You know, we have a lot of help, but we ultimately have to take the steps.
Oh yeah. And that's been my platform for doing all these shows is self-love because I didn't have it myself. So it's what you learn that you want to bring to everybody else because it's the most important, the only thing you can teach is what you know.
That's the only thing we're doing here. And what's more
Mm.
glorious than that is our own unfoldment of our journeys.
Mm.
And for myself, I am committed to my journey.
Mm-hmm.
And as I open and hold the platform of that love for humanity, bringing in the initiations and bringing the information so people get to understand what's going on. People need the clarity.
Exactly.
Clarity is power. Then you know, oh, I know what's going on. I can work with this energy.
Mm-hmm.
Start working with this new God light, this network of light that's on the planet, so
Mm-hmm.
that they're consciously taking steps for
Mm-hmm.
their own self-evolution.
Mm.
You know, it's when you don't understand what's going on
Yes.
and don't even understand the mystery of
Mm-hmm.
how do you connect to the sacred that you
Exactly.
are.
Yeah. That
What
makes
do you
sense.
do? Especially if you don't feel good enough or
Right.
worthy. And the ego mind, its story is you're small, insignificant, and
Mm-hmm.
absolutely not worthy,
This
you know,
is true.
of the
Yeah.
love, of,
Yes.
of the abundance,
Mm.
our natural abundance, our birthright,
Mm.
you know. So it's about just releasing the shells, the
Mm-hmm.
old shells of the illusion, and allowing yourself to enter the vast sacred part of our multidimensional heart so we activate ourselves consciously reaching into that space. And that is then we go home.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's where we are right now with this pandemic. And the Pleiadians say this pandemic will go on for a while because we need the teaching. We need to be in more stillness
Mm-hmm.
to connect to ourselves on another level.
Yes.
And what's happened with the pandemic is with everyone's routines been actually turned upside down.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
ego mind is in this place of chaos and confusion.
Mm.
And that is the very best time to reconnect into the heart because it's out of control.
Mm.
It's out of its safety zone.
It's
And
true.
I
Yeah.
do know that people are in a lot of fear and a lot of struggle
Oh,
right
yes.
now. A lot
Yes.
of suffering. They've lost people,
Mm-hmm.
loved ones. They're afraid. Their money is gone. Many, you know, I just don't know where they're, you know, where they're going to get the money to pay the rent. I mean, that's real
Yeah.
fear.
Yes.
I have to, you know, I absolutely understand that. But the fact is that the ego mind does not have the answers to your issues. The ego mind will not find the way out of this. It will be in fear. And it only knows struggle and fear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the important thing is when you're in feeling moments of fear during this pandemic, put a hand on your heart. Come to your sacred part, that higher self.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the creative energy is. This is where your answers will be. This
Mm-hmm.
is where you can open up to what it is you need, ask and call it forward, and
Mm-hmm.
start linking in and working and sourcing from that unlimited energy of your higher self. And as you bring that in, as you link into your heart and call forth what it is you need, you don't have to try and work out how it's going to come in. You just ask specifically what your heart's desire is at this moment. And it might just be money. I
Right.
just need money.
Right. It's something practical.
This has to be practical.
Right.
Our
Right.
day-to-day living. And you have to use that, the Pleiadians call the conscious breath, which is in and out the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a deep
Really?
sigh. And it says, yes, I'm willing to let go. And yes, I'm willing to receive my light. So you bring the conscious breath in, and you bring it into your heart, which opens the doorway of your multidimensional heart. It bypasses the ego mind, which is excellent, and starts to align you into that multidimensional framework of your higher self. You can start engaging with your heart's desire, stating what it is you need, being specific, and setting that in motion in your life. This is really key pieces that people need to understand and hear at this time. It's very essential. It's about reclaiming your power. You're not powerless.
Right.
From a third dimensional illusion standpoint, might be a very dire situation in your life right now.
Okay.
Okay? That's the illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Within your heart, you move past the illusion into another potential of yourself, of your creation energy. You come into your heart space, aligning into that sacred part, and just reach in and ask for what it is you need. Ask for the help. Call on the help. Activate the desire that you need for yourself right in this moment. But you use that conscious breath, not all the time, but just every now and again. And maybe a sound needs to come out. And you bring it in like a soft wind into your heart as you place your hand on your chest. And you start to open up with that conscious breath and access that multidimensional realm, your own unique divine tool of creation. Every time you utilize that, the pathway grows and grows. It builds in momentum. And then you only have to do this and bring your awareness there during the day. And you start to move out of the illusion of the fear. Start to feel the power, the connection, the peace, the life force that takes you beyond that struggle and that spiraling fear. Fear is totally third dimension. It's a feeling. It cannot hurt you. And just actively reconnect here. This is re-engaging with your higher self, with your sacred nature. The more you utilize it, that sacred nature is right there waiting. It wants to be part of your life.
Yes.
Right now. So this is a really key piece.
Yeah, and and people don't realize how simple it can be when you what you're saying. It seems very simple, but you do have to focus. And when we're too busy, we can't focus. So that's why this whole, like you're saying, this whole situation came through.
The fact is that yes, it's brought us back into a state of stillness, and yes, we can see everything opening up again. But the pandemic is not over.
I know. I'm not running out there.
No, and nor are most people, which is really good. I think it's those people who have their ego minds are just going crazy and they're in a spiral and they're afraid and they're just going, they're just going out there. But it takes one moment, Janet. Doesn't take an hour. So even if you go back and you're doing some work, and we know some are in the workforce, just for one moment in the morning, just start with one moment in time Just touching here and taking
Mhm.
one conscious
Mhm.
breath. Ah. And
Yeah.
just letting the breath come in like a soft wind, not trying, not struggling.
Mhm.
It's like returning back
Mhm.
to yourself
It is. It is.
and just letting yourself be for a moment.
Mhm.
When you choose that reconnection consciously, everything shifts. The old sabotaging cycles start to shift within you that have been within you for lifetimes.
Mm.
You're actually automatically setting in motion a new alignment through you on
Interesting.
another level.
Wow.
So it's you, just you, rebirthing you.
Mhm.
And the Pleiadians say, you are who you've been waiting for.
I love that. I love that. That's one of my favorite sayings. When I've heard that, I was like, really? Oh my goodness. But
But
now I
doesn't
understand it.
just like, isn't that just like, to me, it's like, oh, that's so
Mhm.
true. I've
It
been
is.
waiting for myself all along. And to me, that's terribly comforting because it doesn't depend on one other human being or any other element in
Right.
the universe. It's me coming back to me.
Yep.
I find that incredibly comforting myself.
Yeah, and we've been taught, now we're learning the understanding, as you're saying, is to learn that we're responsible for all our creations, we're not a victim. And when we can just say, I'm responsible also for my rebirth, it's all about me. I need to do it. It's my
And
turn.
the aliens are saying, and I find this is really interesting too, is that we have all the spiritual realms, the Pleiadians, the full galactic community, all the beings of light are here. They are here around us right now to support us in our transition. But what the Pleiadians are wanting to bring to our attention, especially to those of us on the path, that ultimately it has to be us in human bodies
Mhm.
that activates this network of light, of God light, and start
Okay.
expanding it through the earth plane. It was always going to be us humans in these
Mhm.
bodies that were
Okay.
responsible for the activation of planet Earth into its new realm of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So as we come together, two
Mm-hmm.
or more of us, and just choose to connect through the heart and then connect in that communion, that telepathic communion together. As we do that, the network of God light starts to build and expand on our earth plane.
Mm-hmm.
And it births those multidimensional realms and anchors them on the planet.
Wow.
And this is part of the work we have pre-agreed to do as
Mm-hmm.
they show us,
Yeah.
so it's really important to understand that we cannot count on them to do any more. They are holding it and stabilizing it for
Mm-hmm.
us right now at this time. And we are being asked to play our role very consciously right now.
Mm. Yeah, and that's why the stillness. I mean, we had to get that message. This is why we're working so hard right now, I think, to bring it to people so that they will
Yeah.
get that. And when the people listening listen, they spread it to other people. They're like, "Did you know? I never realized this." And you just start talking to people. Someone's going to be willing to listen. It's just like someone, like you say, someone's just going to wake up. And I love that.
Yes, there are some that didn't pre-agree to come in like we did and
Hmm.
go on the path.
Right.
They agreed to be on the earth plane and just to awaken. And even they will need some support from
Oh, yes.
us
Yes.
as they transition and remember and come into their full higher self natures.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting that, all our bodies received this crystalline structure on 11-11-11. It all came into every human being on this planet at that time.
Hmm.
And since that time, every baby has been born with that crystalline structure.
Ah.
And so our crystalline structures are being lit up. They're through the heart,
Mm-hmm.
through the thyroid, which is what the Pleiadians call the divine factor, down through
Okay.
the spinal fluid in the spinal column,
Mm-hmm.
And they are also, where are they else? One other place. Into the energy of the vertebra down
Okay.
sacrum. So in the spinal column itself is what is called the Godhead energy.
Hmm.
And as that activates, and it's the illumination,
Mm-hmm.
as it illuminates, and this network of light that holds our unique God light
Mm-hmm.
is illuminating that that crystalline structure, which is connected to our creative energy and our
Mm.
self-healing potential within our multidimensionality. So
Is that, would the Kundalini be another word for it? The Kundalini, when you know,
no,
totally
a very
different.
separate energetic. It's
Ah,
a
okay.
higher dimensional setting than the Kundalini,
Okay.
and it's but it's not nothing separate. It's just
Right, right.
separate, like an apple and an orange, but they're fruit.
Ah, okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a frequency. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Wow. Wow. I mean, this is information that's just such a foundational. It's so important for everyone to know this. And I am so thrilled. I'm just looking at the time. I haven't even looked at the clock the whole time we're talking because it's so powerful what you're sharing. And I was just going to ask you a couple of quick things because I know it's getting late. It's already 10 of, and it was so profound. You know, the Aborigines, I know you went to Uluru, and I lived in Australia for a couple of years in the 80s. And you said somewhere I read that the Pleiadians brought in the dream time to the Aborigines.
Yeah, the Pleiadians actually transmitted all the native teachings, the shamanic teachings, right across
Ah,
the earth plane,
right, right.
and and the Aboriginals received the dreaming,
Mm-hmm.
the dream time, but the Pleiadians call it the dreaming, and it was anchored in Uluru, and I was so interesting. I was there in January. I was
Mm-hmm.
told I had to go there. I was invited to speak at a cosmic consciousness conference there. And I'd been invited for a couple of years and just felt no. And this time I knew I had to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I found this cave at Uluru and went into the cave. And this is where I had this most profound, life-changing transformation at Uluru in January. It was in the conjunction where the Saturn, I think it was a Saturn Pluto conjunction,
Okay.
where on the 12th of January that came in, and that's when a gateway opened up,
Mm-hmm.
the gateway to the 10th to the 16th dimensional dreaming,
Really?
dream time. It opened up at that time, on the 12th of January. On the 13th of January, I was directed into this cave in Uluru. And I went in and remembered that's where I was. I was one of the Pleiadians that came at that time, lived in that cave, and brought that teaching to the Aboriginal.
Ah, okay.
And then I went through this wall, opened
Wow.
the cave, and I went back home to
Wow.
to my Pleiadian family and took it. I opened up to another level of my Pleiadian aspect. So
Wow.
it's like totally transformed. It's like everything I thought I understood. It's like I was looking at everything from a different perspective,
Oh
and
my
I've
gosh.
never and haven't been the same since January,
Mm.
and had this profound awakening, which has
Mm.
really transformed my understanding of where we are here and what's taking place. And it's been very, very amazing time. But the Pleiadians are coming. I've been told that I am, this is why I have come to play my role here
Mm-hmm.
right now, is to, from our galactic receiving station, receive the galactic community and for them to reorientate here on Earth at this time, a contingent of them, for them to do some of their sacred transmissions. And Uluru connected into our galactic receiving station
Oh,
while I was there. So it was a very profound,
wow.
incredibly profound
Mm.
transmission and experience. Totally life changing and beyond anything I could have imagined, because Uluru was just like a breathing consciousness, and the Pleiadian ships were coming in there while I was there, and it was just like the most profound. I spent 2 weeks in the Red Center. It was really just a really amazing experience.
Yeah, I was there myself. Well, I was there in 1982, I think it was. I was there, and I was at Uluru, and of course, I did climb it before I knew it was sacred. I didn't know, but I was 30 years old, and I didn't know. And I was knowing that the dream time was important, and I didn't understand it. So, you know,
Do you want me to talk a little bit about it?
Sure, just a little. And I know we don't have a lot of time, but if you don't mind a little bit going over, and if that's okay with you.
No, it's fine. It's, you know, the dream time. Understand the Aboriginal people had when those in year for many years, they lived in the desert region, and you know, the
Yes.
desert region is. I mean, when I was there in January, it was 127, 100
Oh yeah.
degrees. It was very hot, and they
Mm.
were the only people, human
Mm.
beings, that could live out there. And it was because they were connected to the dreaming. The
Ah,
dreaming is a 10th to 16th dimensional dynamic of sacredness, and they live from that perspective.
wow.
And the dreaming energy kept them alive, and they could survive in the desert because they were working from a different dimensional component of consciousness.
Oh,
They
no
carry
wonder.
this profound, higher level of consciousness. And
Mm-hmm.
then, of course, the whites came, and you know, many of them were killed. And these days, the elders have stopped passing the dreaming on to the youth.
Oh no.
And this is because of the alcohol and the
Yeah.
breaking down of their society at this time. And they're
Mm.
saying that the youth have to refine the dreaming themselves.
Mm.
And they will come back to that. But it is a most profound state of consciousness and of being. Now, for the very first time with the opening of this gateway at Uluru, the humanity is being given access to this 10th to 16th dimensional space. It
Wow.
has never been available for human beings on this earth plane before this time. And
Okay.
this gateway that opened has stayed open, and it's going to stay open for this time of transition and transformation. So I found myself, I went into the gateway, and that's where I had a very profound transformation take place. And I brought that back, and it's interacted through our galactic receiving station, opening it up to a whole new level of consciousness for humanity. And so the gateway energy is part of my work that I am now transmitting through the gateway at Uluru out to individuals. And so that's what I have begun to do as part of my my directives right now, is to bring some of that transmission to humanity. So it's starting to be interwoven through the frequency of Earth. So it's
Okay.
very powerful.
So is that like through the grid lines and through those kinds of the ley lines and the
Well, I
frequency?
am doing it. Just understand there's Uluru and Kutajuta, right?
Which one is
We
that?
to be called the Olgas.
Oh,
When
the
you
Olgas. Oh, yes, yes, the Olgas. Yeah.
it's now been given Kutajuta.
Oh, I
That
haven't heard that name.
Aboriginals, and then there's Attila. Well, those three, Uluru, Kutajuta, and Attila, have formed this triangular opening between them,
Okay.
right? And that is where the gateway is active.
Oh.
So I'm linked into that, and I'm doing transmissions with that.
Mm.
I think I told you I was doing a live streaming, I think on the
Yes.
30th. I'm
Oh,
bringing
yeah, the
in
31st of May. I know, and this is a little early. So when this airs, it's going to be too late. I'm
it doesn't
sorry to
matter.
say.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so anyway, I'm doing
Yeah.
transmissions, and this is the first one I'm doing.
Hmm.
And there's another one probably going to happen at the end of July. But
Oh, good. Perfect.
my role is to transmit um, the sacred essence of that.
Mm.
out to those who are ready. And there are many of us who are ready on the path at this time
Mm,
to accelerate our awakening. And it's part of a predestined opening that
mm.
it happened, and interesting, just before the pandemic. So,
That's
well,
incredible.
we know there were cases in the world, but before it really
Sure.
exploded
Before
on
it really was, yes, absolutely. So you're saying that we're going to be able to access the 10th or the 16th dimensional understanding, multidimensional way of being kind
yes,
of thing?
yes,
Wow.
it's beginning, you know.
That's incredible. That's
Yeah.
incredible. See, I
Well,
didn't quite understand what the dream time was. That's why I wanted to ask you, because I was so fascinated by it. Now I understand. And
yeah.
even now I was like, I know that they have a higher consciousness.
Oh, yes. And people think it's, oh, just going into a dream, like we all dream at night. It's
Right,
has
right. It's
nothing,
not the same. No, it's different. Yeah.
totally different, multi-dimensional consciousness existence
Mm,
that is simultaneously placed, it's overlaid within the other reality of illusion.
mm.
So,
Yeah. When I heard about the Aborigines when I lived there in the 80s, I heard they were the most ancient civilization on the planet.
yeah,
And so now I understand why. And I was like, really? Because Australia was always so unique. And I know you're Australian by birth. And
yes.
so that's exciting that you went back. And I know you go back often, but this was a
Yeah,
really
the
special one.
first time I'd actually taught, it's the first time I've worked with the Australian public.
Wow.
And
Fantastic.
I went home to family always, but it was like, now it's time to return. And I was
Mm.
supposed to go back this December again, and the Australian government aren't allowing any flights in, so I won't be going back.
Oh, it's not going to happen, huh? Uh,
Doesn't well, I don't know. You
well,
know,
we'll see, huh? We'll see, because
yeah.
so when you said, I'm going to get one more thing I was just want for clarity is when you said, so when we're connecting telepathically and you say we're finally connected with our galactic brethren, so we're now becoming part of the galactic community. Like the earth is part of the galactic community now. We never have been in all these years, all these centuries and thousands of eons, right?
We have never been actively engaged energetically in our resident universe. We're now actively engaged, and now we need to individually start opening up and playing our role with our brothers and sisters within the galactic community.
Mm. And is that partly why a lot of people are waking up with light language and they're waking up with channeling? And I know you do a light language because I heard you. I did a few of your initiations. I was like, wow, right in your temple with all the crystals. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. It was absolutely incredible. I was like, look at those crystals. I have to come visit you because your galactic station sounds absolutely incredible. And one last question, because you know we all have to ask this. Will we ever meet our galactic brethren in person? Is that possible in my lifetime, in our lifetime?
Strong confirmation, absolutely yes.
Wow.
Many of my students do meet them, but it is going to be they will be our neighbors. We will be consciously connecting with them in person and interacting with them as well energetically. So that is absolutely going to be the case.
So when you said they're going to be our neighbors, are they living on the same energetic plane or are they on a higher frequency?
We will meet them on another higher frequency other than this third dimensional illusion. They will enter our space as our dimensional setting rises up. Like they come in on the land, we see them on our beach and
Okay.
interact with them here all the time.
Okay. I figured that. Yes.
But so do our students who come, because we
Wow.
have what is called like a gateway. It's like a
Mm.
Stonehenge
Yes.
space with
Yes.
big boulders, and then we have the two portals, the Lemurian portal and the Galactic portal. And within those portals, people have direct experiences with their family of origin.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, so
That's
it's
amazing. That's
yeah,
amazing.
very beautiful.
Yeah, I was in Mount Shasta last June
I
before things went wild and crazy. And well, not this June, the year before, I guess it was now. But I was, on a group thing and it was beautiful. I mean, I had some connection. I knew I had connections to the Lemurians, but I never believed I was actually Lemurian. But I know I have a connection because they welcomed me, welcome sister. And I'm like, really? And I was crying like crazy before I actually went there.
Up here because we have this Lemurian city a mile out in the water and from our beach, and it's part of the galactic receiving station.
I thought so. Yeah, I
People
heard.
go into that Lemurian city,
Wow.
and they have amazing experiences,
Mm,
many experiences daily.
so
So
incredible.
really, really profound.
It is. And what's opening up to us is just amazing. And we've brought this through because we're ready, because we're opening our hearts, because and also this shift in this whole, pandemic is actually giving us this huge shift that
It,
we're,
it really is. I know it's, third dimensionally, it's a struggle
right.
for many of us.
Yes.
Um, but there's also the glorious side. And if you connect into the heart, you enter that glorious side.
Mm-hmm.
We choose drama,
Absolutely.
or you can
Absolutely.
witness the drama and come into your heart.
Mm-hmm. That's
That,
what I keep doing. All right, I'm going to go back in here because I did go through a month of like, oh my goodness, I had to go through a month of all that fear and get rid of it.
yeah.
It was terrible. It was a tough month. I have to say, March was just like, oh my God, I thought I was through these things in my life. And it was just like right in your face, right in my face.
Nowhere to hide, nowhere to go.
Oh, it was hard. Yes. I have to say it was very, very hard. And I now am so grateful I got through it. I worked and worked and worked. I'm still, I mean, I know it's still, there's things there. It's not perfect, but it's so much better. I have so much more peace now. And as you say, going through the heart, connecting and reaching out is the
That
goal.
conscious breath. Use the conscious
The
breath.
conscious breath is amazing. So, okay. Any last message for the people listening that you want us to know for this year? What do we need? Anything we need to know, do, whatever? What do you get to say?
Go and let go and let go.
Okay.
And allow yourself to choose differently.
Okay.
It's like releasing what you've known before
Mm,
and reach within your heart and choose this part of yourself. Come home.
thank you.
The call is to come home right now.
It's
So I just want to
mm,
really hold the wall with love and support and blessings.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I don't know if you want me to, I know you're bringing in a wonderful gift for the group, and I don't know if you'd like to talk about it, or do you want me to mention it? I would love you.
I'll just quickly talk about it. We've got a double package, I think. One
Yes,
is
you do.
self-liberation.
Yes.
It's 3 half-hour videos.
Mm-hmm.
I was taken off planet for 9 days at one point, came back with the authority to release the density, the old patterns of
Mm,
guilt. So it's 3 videos of working with me, releasing and removing the density from you,
mm-hmm.
and then Christ energy, bringing Christ imprints into the body. So
Wow.
that is the self-liberation.
Mm-hmm.
3 half-hour video classes that can be watched over and over again because
Mm-hmm.
it's multidimensional.
Yep.
And then the other one is self-healing. And it's learning to have a different relationship with your body, to come into where there's disease
Mm-hmm.
or pain, and coming back. Disease and pain sets up in the body when you have left that area of your body. It teaches you how to go back into that area of the pain and bring your life force energy breath in,
Mm-hmm.
start pulling out and releasing the density and shifting the relationship you have with your body for healing.
Mm.
So it's in 3 half-hour video classes too, and you just learn the technique and you build a very different relationship with your whole physical body. It's really self-empowerment,
Mm-hmm.
coming back to take responsibility for your physical body, for your own self-healing. So it's very powerful.
Thank you. Those are beautiful offers. And I know you have a free offer gift too. And this is something else. Letting go, I think you call it.
It's letting go energy. Now, this is the energy the Pleiadians transmit out. It's a letting go energy, and it's a CD that you listen to, and it really allows you to, the energy transmissions from the CD goes right into your body, and you use the conscious breath, and it just starts to lift out
Mm.
old pattern, the old feelings,
Mhm, mhm.
hold on to, maybe of helplessness or hopelessness or
Yep.
just old stuff, it starts to really shift it out. It's very popular sale for us in our store, and I feel like
Amazing.
it was a very good free gift
Thank you so
for
much.
that now.
Keep
Yeah.
This is so needed right now too, to know that you can let go and you're going to be okay. It's
Yes,
okay.
I
So
know.
important.
And this is
So,
a channeled by me with the language, with the Pleiadian energy, with the light, with their
mm.
love. It's really, really beautiful.
Oh, I know. I've heard your channeling and your voice is incredible. It's beautiful. Thank you so much. So I just want to quickly thank our audience for listening. And I am so grateful that you're all here listening to us and taking in this amazing information that Christine has shared. Please email us, give us some ahas, whatever you find that you know, how you like the show. What did you get from it? We will let Christine know. You can let Christine know as well, because there will be a link at the bottom of this show and on the email that you receive. And Christine, I want to thank you so much for sharing your divine light and for bringing your galactic, multidimensional teachings here with that loving, supporting energy that you do. And I can just feel your heart energy, so beautiful. And you're helping accelerate humanity's divine light through unlocking their passions, igniting their authenticities, and finally creating the lives they love. I am Janet Miller, and thank you. I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much, Christine.
Thank you.